Good morning children. We are back again with another topic from geography, major landforms of the earth. So, if we look at the surface of our planet earth, see we find that it is not same everywhere. You can see undulating land surfaces everywhere. Some areas you may be finding as high lands, some areas are found as low lands. Some areas are very higher in nature, it look as highlands, and there are low lying areas which you call as lowlands. Now, see some areas are, I told some areas are highlands and some are lowlands, and some are very rugged in relief and some areas are flat. So, there are rocky surfaces, there are barren lands, there are plain lands. So, different varieties or different structures of landforms you can see on the earth. And see inside the earth a lot of processes is being going on, and the interior of the earth being made up of different layers of rocks, and these rocks which keep on moving very slowly, and as a result of this movement of the earth, movement of rocks in the interior of the earth, it results in the formation of different landform features on the surface of the earth. And so, what do you mean by landforms? What is a landform? So, landform means it is a natural, geographical or a physical feature on the surface of the earth. So, landform means it is a natural, geographical or a physical feature that you see on the earth's surface. So, this landform features occur mainly because of two factors or two forces which occur either internally or externally. That means there are internal forces which act in the interior of the earth, and there are external forces which act externally on the surface of the earth with the help of agents like water, ice, wind, air, etc. So, all this results in the formation of different landform features like plains, plateaus, then mountains. All these are different landform features that you see on the earth. So, these landform features are or occur mainly on the earth's surface, mainly because of some of the forces which act either internally or externally. So, internally means it is a force that acts in the interior of the earth, which results either in the upliftment of land or in the subsidence of land. So, this external force, it may be either in the form of erosion and deposition. So, what is erosion? Erosion means it is the wearing away of the topmost layer of the earth's surface, and this eroded materials are being deposited or it is again rebuilt in the form of deposition. So, this may be resulting when land areas are being eroded, it makes a relief feature, and due to deposition it gets piled up and it forms a higher up raised structure. So, all these are factors which result in different landform features. So, according to the elevation or height of the land, you can classify landforms into three. They are mountains, plateaus and plains. So, we will move on to this, each one of this separately, mountain, plateaus and plains. Mountain is a high land area with very steep slope. You have seen, all of you have seen mountain. It is a raised portion other than land, and these are very high lands, and these lands is having steep slopes on either sides. And usually mountains will be higher than the surrounding areas. Whatever surrounding compared to the surrounding areas, mountain will be a raised portion or it will be an elevated land portion. So, usually you cannot see a mountain as a single one, you see it in ranges or in chains. So, you call it as mountain ranges. Usually they are called as mountain ranges. For example, you always say Himalayan mountain range. It is not a single mountain, it is a chain of mountains. So, Rockies in North America, then Andes in South America, all these are called as mountain ranges because they are not found as single mountain, but they are found in ranges or in chains. In chains means they are not found as single, they are found in chains like this. Then all these mountains will be differing in shape as well as in height. In shape and height they will be differing. And mountains, another peculiarity of mountain is that its tip will be somewhat pointed, you call it as peak. And see, the topmost portion will be tapering and the lower or the base will be broader. It will be having a broad base and a pointed tip, which you call as the peak. That tip of a mountain which is pointed, you call it as peaks. And see, mountains are can be divided into three, or it's according to its formation. They are called as fold mountain, block mountains and volcanic mountains. So mountains are divided into three: fold mountains, block mountains and volcanic mountains. So fold mountains are usually formed because of internal forces. Already I mentioned the interior of the earth is made up of a number of layers of rocks which continuously keeps on moving, and these layers of rocks are called as plates, and the theory is called as the theory of plate tectonics. So these rock layers will be moving in different direction. It may be moving in two opposite direction, it may be moving in the same direction. So it keeps on moving in continuously in different directions, and as a result of this movement of the layers of rocks in the interior of the earth, it results in the formation of mountain like structures which you call as fold mountains. So you can see how fold mountains are being formed. See, fold mountains are also again divided into two. They are young fold mountains and old fold mountains. So this young fold mountains, its peculiarity is that it is always it has a rugged relief. It will be always rocky, and it will be very high, and it will be having high conical peaks also. That is the peculiarity of young fold mountains. And old mountains, they have rounded features, and it will be of low elevation or low height, and this old mountains or this low elevation of this mountain is mainly because of the erosional activities that has been continuously done millions of years. So that's the difference between young fold mountain and old mountains. So you will be moving on to what is how fold mountains are being formed. See, because of the movement of the layers of rocks, what happens is that the rock layers, as these two layers of rocks move in opposite direction, because of this compression in between, these rock layers get fragmented, and because of this compression it gets some portion gets raised up like a mountain, according to a mountain like structure, according to the compression that occurs. And see here, the raised portion you call as anticlines, and the lowered portion which occurs is called as synclines. And see, this folding process, this process is called folding, and this folding you can easily understand by doing an example. You can take two blocks and keep 2-3 towels in between and make a compression of these two blocks. So what happens is that this what is being kept in between these two blocks will be folded in such a manner. You can see it folded in such a manner. So this is the same process that occurs in relation to the folding of mountains. So such mountains formed is called fold mountains. Now next is block mountains. Block mountains is created when large areas are broken and displaced vertically. That is when two plates move away from each other. I told plates may be moving in different directions. Sometimes it may be moving into opposite direction. Sometimes it may be moving in the same direction, and sometimes it may be moving in just opposite directions. So when two plates move away from each other, what happens is that this in between there will be a land portion which get sink downwards. So here in this picture you will be understanding it. See, this is a big land mass. When it gets fragmented here on either side, what happens is that this portion in between will be sinking downwards. As the layers moves away, this portion sinks. This middle portion sinks downwards. So this down portion is called as graben, and the raised portion you call it as the host. So, this is called as, such mountains formed is called as block mountains. Next is volcanic mountains. So, from the term itself you will be knowing what is a volcanic mountain. So, mountains which are formed as a result of volcanic activity is called as volcanic mountains. So, there are mountain areas which have large opening at the topmost portion through which molten magma comes out. So, this magma after coming out from the interior, it will be coming outside and it gets solidified and it forms a mountain like structure which you call as volcanic mountains. So, volcanic mountains are formed as a result of volcanic activities, and you have learned volcano in the last chapter when you learned landforms of the earth, you had learned already. So, you know what is volcano and what is volcanic activity. So, mountains formed because of the eruption of volcano is called as volcanic mountain. So, a few examples are Kilimanjaro in Africa, then Fujiyama in Japan. All these are examples which you can quote for volcanic mountains. Now, even though these mountains are much higher than the surrounding areas, you learned a lot of features related to these mountains. So, other than these features, mountains are also having a lot of uses. And see, these mountains are the source of water, isn't it? So, whatever rivers we have here, all these rivers has its origin on these mountains, and it's a origin place of a number of mountains. Then it's a tourist spot also. Then it comprises a lot of flora and fauna. This water that we get from these mountains are used for irrigation, for agricultural purpose, for navigation, then for generating electricity, and see, water being an indispensable part of our life. So, these are the uses of mountains, and next plateaus you will be learning in the next class. Thank you.